Oh, easy. It's the one and only, the one who teleports around. That's my favourite thing to be. Blue and everywhere. Like the sea. It's mostly true. It's in a lot of places at once, the sea. I know sometimes it feels like the sea's omnipresent, but just remember you're breathing right now and you're probably not a fish. If you're listening to this. So, that's great, isn't it? That proves it. You know. I know the sea seems inescapable, but so did the divine right of kings. Now look at them. Now they're all the divine left kings, aren't they? Because we've already escaped all the ones on the other side.
Cannon primed.
And that's the great folly of it, isn't it? You run away from the right side, and then all the kings on the left are like, haha, you're over here. Can't win for losing, can you? You can't win when it's Barplo time. Oh, it's like Duplo, but made of barp. Alright? And that's fine. There's no law against making things out of barp. I thought we'd broken the skeleton, I'll be completely honest. Is the skeleton not entirely dead? I thought, to be honest, we'd made it. I thought I'd jousted you with my fucking technique. Not joust. I can joust you with my technique as well. You don't know how powerful my legs are. Take that. Ho ho! I did not, to be honest, even think that was going to work. Oh yes. Take this. Oh ho. Now you'll never know. That power seems a lot more effective now that I actually know combos, to be honest. But look. Look at what I can do. I can use my tail to confuse you. Now that's fine, isn't it? Oh ho! I'm glad. I'm glad to be doing Nightcrawler some measure of justice right now. I'm glad that the Justice Department hasn't fired me for being Nightcrawler. Yes. I cling to your back. I upset you and I stop you from being here. Those are my main tasks. That's what I was doing for this entire round. Ho ho, bloof. I bloofed away from the sky.
For a better tomorrow.
Now you're going. Oh! Imagine if you were a sheep. Living life knowing that you could do that at any time. No. It's enough to make a grown man weep for his crayons. We're all really sad about the various crayons we had. I must protest. Just one lunge. I must protest One Lunge City. Okay? It's a fine enough game show. But should we not have a second lunge by now? We're getting sick of the only lunge you have. I think you should invest in new lunges. I think you should invest in a new luncheon. The King's Luncheon. Like that, look. It's the sort of lunch you have when the King's going around kissing you. The King loves to kiss. Kissy kissy Kingswood. That's what I think. Am I frozen in place? I'm frozen in place by the human race, and that's really bad. We're trying to achieve progress here. But that guy keeps going round and singing. I've done that now. I've got. Oh, you. Neither of us can quite figure out where we are, can we? Take that. Take that instead of knowing. There's nothing in the earth that dictates I can't do this! Chop! Chop him down! Chop him down like he's made of a fucking tree or some shit, I don't know. How many other things have I chopped down? What do you chop down that isn't a tree, huh? I can't think of anything. If you brought a lumberjack with you to any given situation, I feel like really they'd zone in on one thing as being their responsibility. So if you want a lumberjack to do anything else, I really feel like you need to specify quite specifically. I fucked linguistically there with the specificity index. Oof. I can't believe I teleported away with 2 different specifics. Here I am. Rocking like some hurricanes. Off I go. Off I go to dance school. Oh, Mary. Oh, I didn't even do the Mary input. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to be Mary when I did it. Oh, hang on. Hang about there. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing, Bartholomew? Bartholomew the Great? No! That was a big rush of moments to meet you with. I can't believe all these sorts of things. I was wondering for a second if I had some sort of aerial move that I'd forgotten about. I do not appear to have. No aerial supers.
Your technique lacks a
I can't
sense of
teleport in the
style.
sky and make that into its own unique thing. Apparently. I think it should have been an option. Boof! Oh, I fucked it up a little bit. I'm sorry, but I fucked it up just a teeny tiny sandwiching chance. Now you know. Now you know what a sandwich can prove, can't you? Oh, hang on. Right. And then, going round making the same mistake I did last week. On Fuck Opinions Month. If you have any opinion whatsoever, fuck you. You ought to. Oh wait, no, I shouldn't say that. That would be an opinion. I don't want them to. I guess do nothing. Unless they view it as a fact. But then, of course, everyone views their opinions as objective on some level, don't they?
Your technique lacks a sense of
Everyone
style.
thinks the marmalade marionette is theirs to command. Oh no, the arrogance. The arrogance of some people. I'll tell you. It beggars belief. It beggars the toad. Look at him. Look at him. Beggared. Oh, I absolutely beggared, I'll tell you what. Just like you said I'd be that one time on the fucking news programme that we all love and remember. News for the Toad. That's right, that's how I knew he'd be listening, to hear it all happen. I specifically targeted the Toad with all of my works. The Toad is my intended target audience. Does that explain a lot about the content I've put out? It's all for the Toad. It's all for the Toad in the end. We all want the Toad to be our friend. And there's nothing he can't do. With your permission. Ho ho. No. No. Now you're kicking me. Which I'm sure you already knew. I'm sure you already knew this, but you've kicked me, Barplo. Barplo the Jungus. Everyone's favourite X-Men character. One of the more famous Junguses. I'll stab your legs. I stab your legs and I stab your face and I stab your man and the human race and then go. Oh! 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 I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how that worked. I'm not convinced you've actually done that. But, you know, who am I to question what ultimately happens when a toad's here? Oh, bloody hell. I'm making it all go on, aren't I? You're having a right old run around. Right old run around on the pokes machine.
Your technique lacks a sense of style.
It's just a machine that pokes people, I guess. Gotta have one. Gotta have one somewhere. What if you need something poked? Obviously you can't do that without a machine. What do I look like? A Philistine?
Technology.
A Flonco Performance? Go. He didn't. Sometimes Bastion doesn't bother going. And that's one of his big problems that he causes, is the lack of go. I reckon if he went more, then a lot of us would already be gone. Go! Ha-ha! There you have it. Why did I take my sword out just to run, and then immediately put it back away? Oh, no. I know it's fun to imagine you live in a world where Crisis Core was only ever released in Dutch. It's fun for you to imagine anyway. I don't know anyone else with that hobby. I don't know anyone else with a large poppy seed bagel in their breast pocket. I don't know anyone, to be honest, with a breast pocket large enough to contain a poppy seed bagel of regular size, let alone a large one. You had to have that custom made for the specific purpose of carrying a larger than average bagel. Why? What was the point? What did you think you were proving? What did you think Danny Dyer was going to say when he looked at you? Did you think Danny Dyer was going to be proud of your bagel pocket? He's never expressed an interest as I shunted you. Right? I'll shunt you again. I couldn't shunt you into the dimension. Shunt. I couldn't access the dimensional shunt. I'm having a lot of fun teleporting in the air next to this tree, aren't I? That's, outstanding. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's lovely. But why don't you do something else down there? Plonk yourself. Plonk yourself in the shed. Oh, hello. I can just go from a rolling start to an ending finish, can't I? You'd expect the end to finish, wouldn't you, really? Feels redundant to say, but I say it anyway because that's my prerogative. And now that you know what a prerogative is, let's go into the next round. It's the Battle of the Blues. Blue drinks. We got our signature blue cocktails from the bartender down at Downton Abbey. We repurposed it, specifically for Blue Drinks Night. And no one can stop us. Not the Dowager Countess. The Big Marcus. He's in it. Big Marcus is a lovely character who we all like. Scranton and the Foot Soldier. Personal foot soldier for Downton Abbey. The bloody Turkey Brothers. I've never seen Downton Abbey. I don't know if that's maybe made itself apparent. Oh, I wanted to give you a big hug and maybe teleport around while harming you. But oh no. Nightcrawler doesn't get to do these things. I only get to do my little kicks. Oh, no. I wanted to mistake you for someone else deliberately. Don't know why. It seems weird. Oh, stand on it. Ow! He stood on it. He stood on my respect. No, I don't laugh at that kind of bird. Bring me funnier ones. Bring me funnier. I'm dying in real life. Oh, get him. He didn't. Oh God. The beast has gotten bored of me and has hit me instead of not hitting me. That, I feel, was the beginning of the end. Oh, the beast. Why don't you say things everyone else says? Like, hello, I'm here to take a picture of you. Everyone, like, you know, the universal catchphrase. There we go, you like me flipping over your brain now, don't you? Ah. Why have you got to be like this? There we go, Barnabas's folly. That's what I call that move. Right? Swashbuckle surprise. Oh, nightmare effect. Fence like the real one. That's my special move I do where I fence like the real one. And then you know how the real one fences, don't you? Which is a German expression similar to how the other half lives. In the universe of X-Men. Don't go around saying that in real life expecting people to know what you're on about. They won't. At the very least, they will choose not to believe it's real. They'll choose not to sing, and then you'll look a bit like Captain Starch, won't you? Because he has a surprised face whenever he's wrong about things. He thinks too highly of himself, does Captain Starch. He needs to realise it's possible for him to be wrong. In fact, it's a frequent occurrence. Because that's the Dunning-Kruger effect, isn't it? If Captain Starch were that smart, he'd realise how little he truly knows. He'd realise you can't... It's the beginning of wisdom is when you learn to say Captain Starch is a fucking idiot. It's as simple as that. Go away. Go away and let me have the top shelf to myself. These are all my books now. I'll put them on there. My favourite books, such as Basta for Christos, The Excellent Journey. It's a great novel about two men who go to the cupboard. This is brilliant. Gripping stuff. One of them had a reason to be there. You've got to figure out which one it was by the end of the book. That's the author's challenge to you. Who had the motive to go to the cupboard and who was just there because they wanted to support the other one? Who's got the real trousers, eh? Who's got a mouth the shape of whales? I'm trying to think how that would... What would a whale-shaped mouth look like on a person? Well, it'd look like whales, I guess, but like in mouth form, nobody's meant to know how. Nobody's meant to be able to picture that. That's the worst image. Sorry to anyone who's Welsh, but like, look, it's a great country. But you shouldn't shape people's mouths like it. That's not meant to happen. There are other ways to celebrate your heritage than carving someone's face into a ghoulish parody of it. Oh, I teleported by accident just now, and it's... Ah! I got flung! Take this and go to sleep. No, you're meant to go to sleep more than that. There we go. Got teleported into the same room just then. It reactivated itself at just the wrong time. Take it. You've taken it. Ho ho hoo! Fuck. You knew. You knew every day would be the same. You were expecting Groundhog Day to take place. What do you know that Bill Murray doesn't? You're the one who torments Bill Murray any chance you get. I've always known. In the back of my mind, I've always been quietly aware that it was you. I just couldn't prove it. You had all the press in your pocket. The police wouldn't touch you. No jury would convict you. We're all in agreement that we wanted Groundhog Day to happen so Bill Murray could have a great film.
Technique lacks a sense of style.
But what they don't realise is it has to happen to Bill Murray in real life first. Groundhog J? That's a different version of Groundhog Day where Blue Jays are the entire cast. Except for Bill Murray. Bill Murray's just there playing opposite a bunch of Blue Jays. And he's expected to just carry on like nothing's changed. I'll tell you, he's a consummate professional. And he's a consommé professional as well. He'll make all kinds of fucking lovely ideas. Oh! No. No more of this. I'm trying to think. Space Jam had to happen in real life as well. The real Bugs Bunny had to almost be enslaved by aliens. Just so that Bill Murray could talk about it on his podcast. Oh yes. The Bill Murray Show, starring himself. That's a real thing. I promise. But now the Looney Tunes have largely put that behind them. They don't blame Bill Murray. Bill Murray's not the one asking to do the movies. Bill Murray has the movies forced on him by corporate big boys. Alright, that's their actual job title as well. Makes it slightly hard to take them seriously, I'll be honest, but they're powerful apparently. They each have a powerful laser in each of their lips!
The fury of storm.
One laser each, the cannon comes out of the centre of the lip. Individual lip halves. Lip mentions! If you mention a lip, the cannon activates. Because they're like... They set that up to fire automatically, because they're like, if they're talking about lips near us, they probably know about their cannon. They know our secret, and must be destroyed. But people can bring up lips for other reasons. Alright. And that was proven out with the tragic death of Lips Mulaney in the boardroom of Snorkels Incorporated. They make all the snorkels in the world, and now they're responsible for deaths. Ironic that a thing that lets you breathe underwater stopped a man from breathing at all. They stabbed the snorkel right through his heart when the lasers missed. They were like, well, I'd better make this seem deliberate. And killed him anyway. They were given a chance to repent. They could have just apologised, but oh no, they're too proud. Bongus and Bingo, the twin CEOs. Yeah, I'm putting them both on blast. I know about your lips anyway, and I'm not even nearby to be shot at by them. What good did it do you in the end? The whole world knows your lip secrets now. Because of Lips Mulaney and his sacrifice. His unwilling sacrifice. Your old board's gone to shit now. They're all shitting at once, and as we know, that causes them to die. They were like, this could be the only thing that kills us. We're allowed to be immortal as long as this one thing doesn't happen, and a law got passed. And they were like, right, well, what are the odds we all shit at once? Well, Lips Mulaney can tell you the odds, because he made it happen. Not intentionally, but I still credit him. I'll still respect him. I still respect him more than I've ever respected him before. Which is not difficult, because I didn't know who he was before the incident. So I had no opinion of him. I had no opinion of Lips Mulaney until he went and died and sacrificed everything. Please, get in the sky. You gotta get on the sky. You got to get in the sky! Storm's trying this fantastic new technique where she just beats me in a fight. It's very practical given that she is in a fight with me. I've certainly agree that now was definitely the time to use it. I'm just a bit bitter that it is a thing she can do at all. I don't like the fact that she had this technique in her back pocket the whole time. Ah! Why have you got to drink rice? It's not a liquid. Just give you a little push. All it takes is a little...
Your technique lacks a sense of style.
The only thing stopping Nightcrawler from being a millionaire is the fact he hasn't pushed you yet. Pushing you once gets him a lot of money. He can do that at any time, and he'll never want for anything ever again. We don't know who established this deal. Mr. Beast, probably. It's just something else for him to throw money at for the novelty content. I made 6 people touch a plane. And anyone who didn't anymore died. I don't think he'd kill people for not touching a plane necessarily. I think, you know, he's clueless at best, but he's not murdered people near planes, I don't think. Although I think we're all waiting for something like that to come out about him, aren't we? We're like, there's gotta be something. There's no way. You're atoning for something, and it might as well be plane murders. Oh, Juggernaut. Why have you got to do this? Why have you got to naught all the jugs? He's reducing all the values of all the jugs to 0. He's like, nobody should have to pay money for a jug. Oh. What if that's his whole agenda? For joining forces with Magneto. He's like Magneto's here fighting against an attempted genocide. And Juggernaut's whole stake in it is like, right, that's great. I agree, that is the most important thing we're trying to do. The second most important thing is that nobody should have to pay for a jug. Get poked like this. Yeah. Now you know the prod, don't you? Oh. You thought not knowing the prod would protect you, but you actually did know the prod. You can't unlearn the prod, Juggernaut, me old friend. My dear friend, the Juggernaut. You can't do this. It won't work.
Your technique lacks a sense of style.
It won't work. I'll draw your name, look, and then you'll agree. It's no use. I'm above your head. I've gone over your head to talk to the penguin police, who make it illegal to be a swimming bird. Alright? Underwater, specifically. Ducks, you're fine, but you're on thin ice. Well, I mean, you're not. You're on the pond. You're on a thawed pond. I'm warning you. I'm warning you, every duck. Someone's got to warn all the ducks, haven't they? It might as well be me. Oh. Juggernaut. Juggernaut, why have you done... I was expecting to have crossed over to the other side of you and thus have done a different move to that. But that's fine. That's fine, I can do that instead. Or kick. Come on. Your face was right there where my foot had been. Ah! The Juggernaut has won! So I was doing a bit of survival mode to see if I could unlock Wolverine's 4th costume. You need 30 consecutive wins in survival mode to get the 4th costume. The highest I've got with Wolverine was 27. Which was very galling to have gotten that close. I was only trying to unlock Sentinel B at the time, which is just you need to get 20, so I was like, oh, can it be? Can it be I've done it? But I hadn't. I hadn't at all. But, all the fights were taking place in the Sentinel Invasion map. You know, the city street where everything's exploded. And I kept knocking people off the roof into the big red glowing billboard, you know the one? And what I observed in doing that over and over again, every character in this game appears to have a really nice arse. Seemingly without exception. I don't know, is that the first thing that happens to you when you become a mutant? Is that how the Sentinels can tell? All the killer robots are just like, we've detected the cheeked up man. And then they do a big murder. I guess that's gotta be it, right? There's no way it's a coincidence. I can't coincidate all of this in the subway. You having an absolute fucking giraffe? Oh, here we go. There's the self-same map I was talking about. I knocked everyone in the billboard and we all knew, didn't we? We all knew the truth about the detection system. Oh, everyone I touch knows things they shouldn't. Through my fingers flows forbidden knowledge. Remember that. Remember that with your helicopter. Off I go.
You must be a fool to
Off I go, I'm about to shoot you a few times. How'd you like that, Jarvis? That's your name now, you're Jarvis forever. I've retroactively decided. No! Henrik the Shunt. Right. Oh, you didn't have to. No. I don't know what your plan is for the future of monkey disasters. You've already done a monkey earthquake, where you put so many monkeys in one place it might as well be an earthquake. It's just, what number of monkeys would you have to put in a room to be like, nah, that's close enough? That might as well be an example of a natural disaster. Ah. You had to wait until the last one, didn't you? I'll trip you downstairs.
Your technique lacks a sense of
I'll trip you downstairs once and for all. Take it. Take it from me, the big drinker. You gotta actually win. Or you gotta actually win or it doesn't count. If you've not actually won, we can safely assume that you've cheated in some way. I'm sorry, I didn't want to rumble all your roses out of the grave. I know you were buried with all your favourite roses at once. Aha! You flopped down the other way. Now I can flop you, please. Spaghetti dinner!
your technique
Spaghetti
lacks a
dinner, you're
sense of
falling down.
style.
Is there a crane somewhere down here? I seem to recall being able to knock you onto a crane.
human lover.
Where's something that looks like it'd be one? I don't know. Would you like to accompany me to the crane dimension? I just got these vague memories. Come over here. Come over here. It'll be somewhere over here, I bet. Be over this way. Ooh, look at me, I'm Nightcrawler. I'm mocking you. Oh! Right. Well, if I were a crane... Oh, I knocked you into something. I knocked you into something, haven't I? Let it never be said that I knocked you into nothing, because that's the opposite of what's true. Ah! No, my blood. My blood and all the rest of me. There's a sentinel over here, he's a bit dead. You want to try that again? You want to come over? Come over to me. Come over to me, I want to inspect what's over here. You're not going to let me have any look-arounds, are you? You're not going to let me get on the look-around machine and have my fun day. No, there doesn't appear to be a crane. I could have sworn I remembered... There was just for a moment, I was like... I feel like there might be a way back up, don't you know? But I guess I'm wrong. Because it'd be here, wouldn't it? There is nowhere else. There's nowhere else. Sweep. Get swept in the
technique lacks a
darkness.
sense of-
Mystique's final attack. Getting big ideas. An innovation to startle God himself. Oh! I think you should stop disrupting the church with your big colony. You've just taken a large group of people to take over the church one day, and you're like, I'm innovating the marketplace. I don't think that's an accurate description of what's going on here. I don't think.
Why
Proke?
do I bother?
You've been proked, I'm afraid.
You've been for the actions. Fencing for you. Get you now like this.
You've
Your
been
technique
defeated.
lacks a sense
I
of
think that's
style.
great that you've lost. Look at me. Nightcrawler.
Saved
A
from
fantastic
madding
little
crowd
guy
bent on
going
destroying him
around,
for his demonic
learning a
appeals.
lot.
Kurt Wagner has
He loves
always
burning
been a
brimstone
standout,
from an unknown
finding
dimension.
both acceptance and friendship with the X-Men.
He's
Kurt
got
has since
so
used his power
much
of
spatial
teleportation to
awareness.
further the X-Men's goals as the mutant
He
swashbuckler.
just immediately
Nightcrawler.
knows where every wall is in the corresponding dimension. But, you know, that's a story for another time. We'll tell you what he corresponds to next week on the X-Men. Tune in for that, and remember, don't fear and hate them anymore, because they've sort of proven you wrong at this point. For fuck's sake. How many more times do we have to slap a magnet off the kitchen counter, huh? For you to believe us. Granted, Dark Phoenix is down there looking like a jack-o'-lantern, but the rest of us are grand. Cool. Some people.